Hi everybody, Jerome right here again, and I have a image up of out in space with our sun and the our planets that are orbiting the sun. Um, Through my paranormal experience and encounter, which I realize that I have, some I believe almost going on 3.5 or so years ago, that I come to realize how or how all of space is functioning and what is happening in space, and subsequently calls for existence of life forms such as ourselves, and that is which is around us. Um, on my Alien UFOs website, you can see how I evolved to coming to the conclusions in which I'm going to share here with you now in this video. And I was drawn through to the truth through my paranormal experience and encounter, um, through a genuine experience, which actually enlightened me on to that of everything that I'm now sharing here with you, um, which makes such clear sense that even the most skeptical person could not deny me the fact that I am on to something major here, and this is the reason why I could even go and take you any place that I want, and so much as far as with dealing with what we thought to be unreal, but turns out that it's just opposite of that, and I'm giving you reality. Um, Here, I want to show you. I want to talk with you about what you're actually seeing here. Okay, this is a photojournal image of the sun and the planets that are orbiting the sun. Okay. Um, First of all, let me show you here with these rings and what the planets are in there. Through my paranormal experience and encounter, I realized that what is being described here as orbits, um, planets, and the sun are very much similar to behaviors that are in a human being with kidney stone infections. Meaning that you have rings of containment, you have stones, you have rings of containment. And by the way, if you were to um to Google images of kidney stones, and I think the number one engine search for that would come up would be herring, herring, that's HERRING, I believe, herring photos of kidney stones, and you will see that there are kidney stones that actually look similar to that in color and in design of that of what our planets are. And I'm just telling you that this is on a larger scale. So, in short, I'm comparing the behavior, the materials, and the substances in all of space of being similar to that of a kidney stone infection in a human body. Now, and more specifically, a specific area, area of location that all of this is occurring is in the section of the, I believe it is the, in the kidneys, kidney infection would be the glomerulus, where there is a filtration process that actually extracts certain elements such as water, such as salts, and other materials, organic materials that are in our body, and then it is some is refiltered back into our body, and then others are created or contained, encased in stone, and actually and in hardened masses, and actually sent off to be destroyed or passed out through the larger body, which I believe that what we are calling black holes, what this is actually being done. But that's a whole nother story. But I'm telling you that the behavior of all of space is identical to that of a person with a kidney stone infection. It's the behavior. I'm stating that there's a gray area in our kidneys, which is actually the glomerulus, where there is a membrane where certain materials are allowed to pass through and others are contained in rings of containment. And I'm stating that this is what's going on with its space, and that describes the behavior of our space. Alright, if you want to read in more of that, you can actually see my other materials that I actually have on that. Okay, I do have drawings and stuff on my Aliens UFO site if you care to go there. The title there, you go to Dreams and Experiences, and the title there that I have on that website is I Am an Alien and So Are You. But anyway, let me get here to this, to what's going on here. All right, there is our sun. We all know that this is a radioactive object that is actually radiating heat in this direction. I want to call your attention to the sun. Let's look at the sun as a microwave. Okay, as a microwave that you have in your home, a microwave, conventional, or an oven, conventional oven that you have in your home. Let's look at these objects as rotisserie objects that you taken out of your freezer and you put on a rotisserie to be thawed out by this object here, which is radiating the heat. Common sense, people. This is just common sense that I'm sharing with you. The furthest object from the heat would be the coldest, and the closest object to the heat would be the hottest. Okay? And the thaw out process would be in that order, which would mean that Mercury will be thawed out first, Venus would be second, Earth would be third, Mars would be fourth, and so forth and so forth, all going out. This would be described why you have minus degrees temperatures back here and hotter degrees temperatures up here. I'm stating that Earth is in the prime location for that of life to flourish in the way that it is, based on its precise location with the sun. Meaning that these other objects, backing from Mars on out, are frozen masses that are yet to be thawed out. It is my position that Mercury was first. There was a life on Mercury. It was a frozen ball of mass, and when it enjoyed the temperature that Earth is now, life flourished on Mercury. The same exact thing with Venus, and now Earth, what we are now enjoying. It is my position that it will come a time where, through this extraction process, this recyclination process that I have described to be similar to that of what is happening in the glomerulus area of a kidney infection, okay, extractions are being made. If you look at our planet, there are areas on our planet that there are certain levels where salt is being inserted. We have salt mines where these areas where these extractions are being made, these things are being contained in certain locations in our planet. Okay, it is my position that these behaviors, not on just on our world, are actually occurring in other worlds where these materials are being gathered, contained, and then extracted. And this is what our existence is all about. Now, let's look at our planet as a piece of chicken on a rotisserie. Or you know what? Let's just look at it as it's sitting out on. No, let's go with a chicken on your rotisserie. What is happening? This object, our planet, which contains life, let's say the chicken being rotisserized around the sun. It is going through a stage where it is actually happening so slow that this chicken, instead of cooking fold through, it actually creates an environment where life can come on it. Meaning, you have your chicken outside, and you're cooking it on the grill, or cooking it outside, and the thawing out process takes so long and it's so slow and so drug out that flies land on it, and then and lay their larvae, which creates maggots. Other life forms and bacteria that are in the chicken actually are allowed to surface, and the chicken, instead of cooking, because it's going so slow, it actually becomes spoiled, and it goes through a metamorphic stage that allow for a life to go and grow upon it and sprout off of it. And this is what is actually happening, people. I'm alleging that this has happened with Venus, and this has also happened with Mercury. Now, scientists want you to believe that Mars has no atmosphere, has no chance of life, and it is this desolated place where it's barren. That's not the case, and that's not what I see through my paranormal experience and encounter. What I see about Mars is that everything on the surface is just a collection of space. It is my position that Mars is a frozen mass up underneath, and as soon as it becomes a few degrees hotter, water and ice will appear on Mars's surface, and from that water and ice, it would actually develop in the future, maybe thousands, hundreds and thousands of years. I'm not a scientist. Its atmosphere will appear as that is what Earth is. And it is also my position that this makes such logical sense that there is no way that scientists could not actually see this or already know this. You know what I mean? In my mind, I mean, it's just that it's just too much. It's common sense, people. Look at this. How could this not be as I am saying that it is? You have four pieces of chicken. 1, 2, 3, 4 that you took out. The closest one to the fire is being cooked. The second one. The third one. The water is being cooked out of it now. The water is showing it. This has more water than these, because these were already they're cooked to the point to where the water is cooked out of them, and now other toxins are being released off of them. There's more water showing in this one because it is at that point. That's where it's at. And then now this one will be next, and then this one, and then that one. And as these materials are being cooked, organic substances that are inside of these toxins are being released. Mercury is at a stage where now it has probably a gas atmosphere, which I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but this is why these objects are showing in their atmosphere, because they are at a cooking stage around this rotisserie of the sun, this radiated sun, that where these objects, these masses are releasing certain substances into their atmosphere. But it is my position that they once had this atmosphere. Now, just as we are traveling now to Mars, and then to our moon, and then down to Mars, it is my position that these creatures that were here logically jumped to here, and then logically jumped to here, and now are logically jumping to here, as we are now doing. You have mythical stories about how there were ancient civilizations of people that allegedly traveled to our world looking for materials because their atmosphere developed a hole. We're looking all the way out here for this occurrence and trying to prove that these people came from here, when it only makes logical sense that we would not be able to survive all the way out here. I mean, where it actually becomes more desolate, more colder, and further away from our originating lifeline, which is our sun, people, wouldn't it make more sense to you that if this story was in fact factual, that these life forms would have actually came from here? Because their atmosphere that they were living in ruptured on this planet or on this planet, which one of them I believe is showing a hole, a gaping hole in them down in the atmosphere. People, I mean, how stupid can we be? How stupid can we be? We're sold on something that is far beyond the realms of reality, which is all the way out here. We make it impossible when the truth is right in front of you. Right here. Here's the truth. We are on a rotisserie being microwaved by our sun. Our planets are actually eggs which contain organic life, and as they come into a certain area in distance with the sun, these planets, these eggs, are being thawed to a point to where the water comes out of them and life forms flourish. They come closer to a point where they dry up, which is evidenced by Venus and Mercury. And one day our Earth, our planet Earth, will be looking like its sister planet or whatever, Venus. And Mars will have the enjoyment of being that of like Earth. Mars will dry up, then we will have Jupiter next in line. Then Saturn, then Uranus, and then Neptune. In that order. People, what does not make sense about this? Why are we not being told this by NASA or by other experts of our world? Why am I the only one that's actually sharing this theory with you? Why are not other people actually exploring this idea? You know why? Because they have cleverly put your mind back out here, out of the realms of reality, having you looking for aliens off in the distant galaxies and solar systems, when everything is going on right here where you're at, and they don't want you to see it. So what do? They sell you a dream that is far beyond that of your comprehension or common sense. This is what the problem is, people. The same thing with everything we're dealing with religion. They're selling you a dream that is beyond the realms of reality, which is here on your planet, but something beyond, something that is divine, something that is out of the reach of your comprehension. Whereas in common sense, everything you need to know is right there upstairs in your head, and you can figure it out for yourself through your own common sense that was gifted to you through your creators. People, you have been had, and it is sad that you have our world's most intelligent people looking beyond what is here, the truth, which is here. The truth is right here. What makes better sense than what I'm telling you here in this video? If you can tell me, comment back to me. Tell me that what I'm telling you does not make sense. I would actually quit making my videos through my experience. I would actually quit. If enough people came back and said, Jerome, this is just crazy, you're bizarre. If enough people came back and told me that, I would just quit. I would stop, because you know what? I would say, what's the use? If what I'm telling you do not make sense, please comment back to me and tell me that. But if it does, please comment to me and let me know that, I mean, Jerome, this is dead on. This is spot on. And you know what? This is reality. You have 4 pieces of meat that you took out of the freezer. You put them on a rotisserie. Your meat's name is Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. The closest one to the fire, which is Mercury, is cooking the fastest now. then thawed and it's cooking the fastest. Then Venus is second in line, which is cooking, and then Earth. Based on this closeness and proximities of the sun, this is how these planets are cooking, and life forms existed on them. Again, it is my position that after Earth goes through its process with the sun, dry up, or in fact, we may be able to see, because I mean, this is the instinct. I mean, how creatures are becoming instinct. How do you say that word? Oh God, instinct on our planets. This is the process, people. When the planet would have been back here, wouldn't it make more sense that a little closer, with more radiation from the sun on this side over here? Wouldn't it make sense that these creatures would enjoy a life in a different way back then? People, we are in trouble. We are in major trouble, and I'm telling you now that there's a problem with everything, that as far as reality. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a narrator. I'm just giving this stuff to you in layman's terms. I don't profess to be educated in any way in this stuff. You know what I mean? One day I hope to have a team that I can actually describe things to you, and they can explain it to you in a better way, in a scientific way, that actually takes and gives you a better sense of what's going on. But sometimes maybe less is better. Maybe less is better. I'm telling you that these planets are eggs of life. Okay? We're in a larger body, and all of this is behavior is acting as that is what would go on in a person's body as that of a kidney stone infection. The area and the location that all of this is occurring is called the glomerulus, where there is a membrane and a filtration process where water is being extracted, where salts are being extracted, where gases are being extracted and being recycled back into the larger part of the body, whereas the toxins are being destroyed. And it is my position, this is what this is all about. Recyclination, death, destruction, and resurrection. That's what this is all about right here. And that's why we have a sun with planets orbiting that sun. There's an extraction process goes on. Now, what is happening with our moon? It is my position that our moon is in orbit with our sun. I mean, with our planet, for the simple fact that elements that are being filtered through the atmospheric layerings of our planet creates our moon. I'm saying that our moon are waste byproducts of our planet. Not no collision that this happened. Our moon was not created through no collision, as science wants you to believe, through a collision with Earth and then the moon was created. If you were foolish enough to believe that, that's crazy. What I'm telling you, here's a more simpler and more logical explanation of that. That filtrations that are being sent into space from our planet, exhaust matter, created our moon. Imagine in your dryer, because this is a dryer. I'm going to give you another. I'm using home appliances as making common sense out of this, people, because this is the best way that I can do it. Imagine the sun being a dryer. These planets are in the dryer being dried out. Now our planet is being dried out. There's a lint ball that you have, and one of those dryer balls that you have in your dryer. It collects lint from off of the object that is actually being dried. And as it collects, it gets larger and larger and larger and larger and larger. This is how I explain how our moon came to be. Okay? And at a point to where this object, our moon, is actually taken into, I'm stating that Venus had a moon at one time and Mercury had a moon at one time as well too. There's a certain point that these moons are being taken out of the picture. Okay? And it is my position that Mars' moon which is just that of a stone right now, is there because of its proximity with the sun. And at one point, its I think its moon, what is it called, phobia or whatever, its moon will collect enough mass off of this planet to where it will be actually become a round moon and look like similar to what our moon is once it reaches the level of that in proximity of that with the sun. There's a process, and this planet will be able to be then the Martians, I guess, would actually come then. The Martians will be there then. I don't think that Mars, in fact, I know that Mars never had an existence on it because it is not at that point where it was stalled to the point. Life forms that are on Mars, it is my belief that it's going through a collection process. That even some of the life forms from our planet, some of the emissions from our planet, has already contaminated Mars, and the dirt and the materials that are on this planet right now, substances from space, are actually life forms that will actually flourish into life later on. Once the water surfaces this planet, the atmosphere is created, then this is when the life will actually appear on Mars. By then, we will be long gone by the destruction of our planet, by that being inflicted upon it by the sun, which has actually happened with Venus and has happened with Mercury. Now, what happens after that? By then, you will have on Mars, as we do on Earth right now, intelligent life forms that have discovered how everything is happening that I'm telling you right now, and then they will take and disguise everything, create these God bodies, and tell them that all life was created by God, just like the Vatican and everybody else is doing in religion right now, to control the masses of people and enjoy the sole enjoyment of being that of kings, queens, and entities over everyone else, which is happening in our world right now. So by then, people on Mars will not be knowing about what's going on, what happened in the distant past, in the distant past of what went on Earth, just like they hid from us what has happened on Venus and what is happening on Mercury, what happened on Mercury. We would not be known. We would be long gone, and the dominating creatures on this planet, which would pass themselves off as the intelligent ones, the divine ones with this spiritual connection to God, they would actually have this enjoyment as they did in our world long ago. Earth will be non-existent, therefore, in the past, and will be no more, and will not be talked about. We will not even be considered alien. We will be wiped off the face of the earth, just like they have done with Venus and in Mercury. Do you get the picture, people? Do you get the picture? And then, when all of that is said and done, our future ancestors, our future life form will actually jump to Jupiter, and the same thing will happen over and over and over and over again. I'm saying that there is technology and intelligence from Mercury that went to Venus and is now with our world, will eventually travel to Mars, which it is doing now through NASA space station. Through NASA space efforts, and then eventually to Jupiter, and then eventually to Saturn, and eventually to Uranus, and all. And what they do is they leave the information behind to have this enjoyment of a divine presence. And that's what is happening with us today. And it explains everything if you want to believe what I am actually telling you. It explains everything. Okay? My name is Jerome Wright. You're watching my Jeronification channel. Okay? You can also catch me on Alien UFOs, Dreams and Experiences, and the title is I Am an Alien and So Are You. My presentation of these videos suck, people. I know that. It's because I'm going through a true paranormal experience and encounter. I'm not a science person. I am not even into science. I sucked at it in school. But I'm just giving these videos to you in a layman's sense, because I know that there's people out there that can actually make sense of what I am actually stating, and you can actually get an understanding from what I am actually telling you. Okay, but stop looking out here for answers. Answers are here, here, here. We're in the process right now of where we need to be and what is happening. Look at NASA. If Mars is such a desolated place, if our moon is such a barren place, why is it space travel? Why are they interested in putting a space station here? You know what I mean? Is it because you want to believe because they're in closer proximity to drive to go out, or is it because they know that our world is being destroyed by the sun, and they want a place to set up shop at? Or how do we know that every time they send a rover onto the surface of Mars, that they're not implanting um, um, by um, 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 microorganisms into this planet, reseeding this planet, because they know that one day this is going to be a water world, just like Earth is, and they are implanting genetics into this planet. You don't know. You know why? Because they are sending you these whoopee-doo pictures back, having your mind somewhere else in the clouds, while they're conducting their scientific business through their knowledge that they enjoy, not just from our world, our ancient world that they knew about, but from here and from here as well. So they're bringing all of this to the table onto Mars, reseeding this planet. Sounds like a good movie, I know, doesn't it? And then turning around, reseeding, and when this planet starts to sprout its water geysers on its surface and its atmosphere begins to become created, all of this that they cleverly implanted from they carry from here to there is now being seeded into this planet. Stuff that you're paying for through tax dollars and through your contributions, but know nothing of that they're doing. Now, when this world is created, those all that helped make this all possible are forgotten. Amazing, isn't it, people? And then when this planet is ready for its end days, the next thing will be going over to there. Think about it, people. We exist because of the sun. Okay? We exist in this ring right here because of the sun. Does it make more sense to you that if you were to try to travel out, would it make more distance to you to go out baby steps at a time, or just take one quantum leap, which would actually certainly destroy you? It doesn't happen that way. Almost like in a step pyramid, you step from one containment ring to the other, from that containment ring to the next, from that containment ring to this containment ring, from that containment ring to this containment ring. You take steps which actually will create an evolution through space, which makes more sense than just jumping from here to there, to there, to there, and then all the way out. You can't. I mean, it makes more sense that you take steps from this planet to that planet to that planet to that planet, as our ancestors did here. They jumped from Mercury to Venus, then to Earth, and now we are jumping to Mars, as NASA is being seen doing. Baby steps. Makes more logical sense for our bodies, makes more logical sense for our evolution through space, and it just makes more sense, period. We do not jump from Mercury all the way to Neptune. We do not jump from Mercury all the way to Earth. We jump from Mercury to Venus, and from Venus to Earth, and then from Earth to Mars, just as being done. People, we are being had. We are being had, and it's time for answers to come. Look at the rest of my videos. There's much more than this that I can actually go beyond this and go further. People, my understanding of this stuff is like, I don't know what it is. Basically, what I need is for experts to pick my mind so I can make some scientific sense out of this, because I'm just using my own words right now. But I can not only explain this, but I can explain everything that is beyond this. I am a part of it. I'm having a genuine experience and encounter, and I hope that more sooner than later I'll be able to go viral and something comes of this. But I'm going to tell you something, people. This is absolutely fascinating. Oh, and by the way, before I end this video, When you go into that herring site to look up kidney stones, if you put in Google engine search photos of kidney stones, and the number one site will come up with herring. There is actually a kidney stone. I forget the name of it. It's a sulfite something, and it actually appears just as that of a sun would do. We have a kidney stone that has been extracted from that appears, and when I tell you exactly to that of a kidney stone, people, I mean of a sun, it does, people. The color, the roundness, I mean the fiery look and everything. We actually have a kidney stone. When you look at it, you're going to say, wow. You know what I mean? And then look at all of the other stones around that, the magnesium kidney stones and all of that, people. And it makes sense. Imagine this a kidney stone infection on a much larger scale, and everything that I'm telling you here, the rings of containment, the extractions of materials, of raw materials in the body, and infections and all of that, living things on these kidney stones, and the encasements and all of that stuff, people. And you have a perfect scenario of all of this in our bodies, and you would not even imagine it until I made the comparison. You know what I mean? It's just absolutely phenomenal, and I just hope that you have a chance to research all of that and go from there. My name is Jerome Wright. Please see all of my videos. I need your support. Send this information to a friend, and I appreciate you watching this video. Thank you. That actually extracts certain elements such as water, such as salts, and other materials, organic materials that are in our body, and then it is some is refiltered back into our body, and then others are created or contained, encased in stone, and actually and in hardened masses, and actually sent off to be destroyed or passed out through the larger body, which I believe that what we are calling black holes, what this is actually being done. But that's a whole nother story. But I'm telling you that the behavior of all of space is identical to that of a person with a kidney stone infection. It's the behavior. I'm stating that there's a gray area in our kidneys, which is actually the glomerulus, where there is a membrane where certain materials. Hi everybody, Jerome right here again, and I have a image up of out in space with our sun and the our planets that are orbiting the sun. Through my paranormal experience and encounter, which I realize that I have, some I believe almost going on 3.5 or so years ago, that I come to realize how how all of space is functioning and what is happening in space, and subsequently calls for existence of life forms such as ourselves, and that is which is around us. On my Alien UFOs website, you can see how I evolved to coming to the here. I want to show you. I want to talk with you about what you're actually seeing here. Okay, this is a photojournal image of the sun and the planets that are orbiting the sun. Okay. First of all, let me show you here with these rings and what the planets are in there. Through my paranormal experience and encounter, I realized that what is being described here as orbits, planets, and the sun are very much similar to behaviors that are in a human being with kidney stone infections, meaning that you have rings of containment, you have stones, you have rings of containment. And by the way, if you were to Google images of kidney stones, and I think the number one engine conclusions, in which I'm going to share here with you now in this video, and I was drawn through to the truth through my paranormal experience and encounter, through a genuine experience, which actually enlightened me on to that of everything that I am now sharing here with you, which makes such clear sense that, I mean, even the most skeptical person could not deny me the fact that, I mean, I am on to something major here, and this is the reason why I could even go and take you any place that I want. And so much as far as with dealing with what we thought to be unreal, but turns out that it's just opposite of that, and I'm giving you reality. Search for that will come up would be herring. Herring, that's Herring, I believe. Herring photos of kidney stones, and you will see that there are kidney stones that actually look similar to that in color and in design of that of what our planets are. And I'm just telling you that this is on a larger scale. So, in short, I'm comparing the behavior, the materials, and the substances in all of space of being similar to that of a kidney stone infection in a human body. Now, and more specifically, a specific area of location that all of this is occurring is in the section of the, I believe it is the, in the kidney infection would be the glomerulus, where there is a filtration process